Obviously, the focus tonight is going to be those two big guys. How much of a focus was that this morning?
Well, that and also Holiday. Holiday, he's the key. He's the motor that runs the bus for them. He's the X factor. Getting him under control is the first problem, and then Davis and Cousins. They're two probably the most talented big men in our league. And but again, we got to make sure we get Holiday under control first. They signed Jordan Crawford, who came in the other night and got 19 points, so he's a hired gun off the bench. We got to make sure he doesn't come in and have an impact on the game, because he will oblige if we will allow him to. And so we got to make sure we come in and have an attention to detail. And it's going to be a great challenge for Norm coming in to guard him at that position. So it's a great test for our second unit defense.
What's the problems that Cousins and Davis present? Is it sort of the versatility is the most important?
No question, Doug. First of all, both of them have the ability to bring the ball down the floor in transition. That's the first problem. Now, you're in a situation where sometimes you may have one big man can bring it down the floor, and you get matched up in transition. Now you have two. So so now you got to have great communication with the wing players and your guards to make sure somebody takes the ball, and then we spray out and take the shooters. And they do a good job of making sure you're kind of confused as far as your matchups in transition, because it's unusual. But again, they're versatile, they're talented, they're skilled, they're long, they're big, they're strong, and so those are all the things that present a problem for you, not only in transition offense, but also, transition defense, but also in your half-court sets.
When you watch them, have you seen a level of cohesion developing? Because I guess presumably it would be hard to get two bigs on the same page of that caliber.
Well, that's the reason why Holiday's such an important factor, because he's the X factor that will, get things going, break the defense down, find them, and they don't have to really have a lot of cohesion, more so than the ISO your ISO offense, your spacing as much as anything else, and they hurt your spacing because both of them can space out on the floor. They don't necessarily have to be in the low post position. So again, Holiday, him penetrating, him attacking the paint causes problems. Now you have to get off their bodies. And then now they've added Jordan, and then Cunningham's a 50% corner three-point shooter. So they have a lot of good weapons offensively. Again, we got to come in with attention to detail, focused, and energy. We've been off for a few days, good practices, solid practices. Now we got a game which is, we should be excited about coming in and playing a game.
Dirk went over 30,000 points last night.
I was so happy.
Yeah,
I was so happy to see that. I texted him and told him, and he was so excited just to see, and saw a lot of, saw 3 years of those 30,000, and there's no harder worker. You guys think they work hard. This guy at his age is in the gym at 10:30 at night. I had to tell him to stay out of the gym, and saw Holger sitting there with him crying, and just the hours that those two spent together, you can't, it's just unbelievable. And now it's come to fruition, because if you said, like he said, I remember teasing Detlef Schrempf when he first came over. Said, "Detlef, this young German kid's gonna come take your thunder. Oh, he can't play. He's no good." And guess what? Now 30,000 points later, Hall of Fame nomination later, here he is. And Detlef was a great player and a great person in his own right. But again, nobody, even his own fellow Germans, thought he was gonna make it. But he made himself. He put in the work. He's a self-made player.
It's funny, like 25,000 of those points probably came in the same shot. But you couldn't stop. You knew it was coming. The one-legged dagger that he has, and but again, it's not by happenstance. It's from putting in the work on that shot. Maybe sometimes one hand behind his back, crazy drills, but they worked, and come from sweat. He and Holger.